heading home, two game series, one versus non-con Harvard, and then hockey's matchup versus Merrimack. Want to get your thoughts heading into the weekend, Halloween Friday night, and then Saturday's hockey's battle.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an unorthodox weekend for us because normally you're playing the same team twice. I think the only time all year we'll have a weekend like this will be the Connecticut tournament. So I was telling the players, I think it's good because when you get to, you got to be comfortable playing two different opponents on consecutive nights. I think, when you get to, like I said, the Connecticut tournament, and when you get to the Hockey East tournament, the semifinals, when you get to the NCAAs, you have two different opponents on two different nights, and you've got to be able to be prepared for both of them. So right now, though, we're just focusing on Harvard. I think, the best way to prepare for Merrimack is for us to just play very well against Harvard. So that's where our focus is right now. They've got a lot of returning players. Thompson was a freshman for them last year. He had a great year. Severo's a experienced guy up front. I think Joey Miller, their captain's a very good player. He's dangerous on defense. You got Healy and St. Louis, who are extremely mobile, and Charrette's a returner in net. So they have a lot of their team back. And it was a tough game at their place last year. So we know we're going to be in for a fight on Friday night.
All right, we'll open up for questions. Joe, you want to start us off?
Thanks, Kyle. Morning, Cav.
Good morning, Joe.
Through 3 weekends, what have you liked best, or a couple of things that you've liked best about what your team has done, and what's a couple of things that you've worked on this week?
I think we've defended pretty well. Especially 5-on-5 play. I think we've defended pretty well. Uh, I think we've done a decent job of breaking the puck out of our zone. Uh, I'd like to see us generate a little more offensively on a consistent basis. I think it's been very sporadic throughout the year, where like even Friday night against BU, I didn't think we generated much in the first period, but obviously second and third period we did. And the third period of BU, I thought at home we generated quite a bit. No, but we're not consistently generating enough multiple shot shifts. Like I said, we're defending well. BU only had 8 shots on us in the last two periods. So we got we got some grade A's certainly against them on Saturday night, and I think we had more grade A's than they did. However, Yegorov had a great. He responded really well, and we didn't get enough second and third chance opportunities against a good goaltender like that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Randy.
Thanks, Colin. Good morning, Cav. How you doing today?
I'm good, Randy. How about you?
I'm great. I'm great. So you mentioned how you're defending well. What are some of the things? What are some of the details that you really like about why you've been able to defend well?
Well, it's this. I think defending well starts through the neutral zone. And I think if you're structured through the neutral zone, you set yourself up to break the puck out really well. Uh, it's not just, you don't want to spend a lot of time in your own zone. I think that's when you can get in trouble. Like we want to eliminate a team's opportunity to have multiple shot shifts. Yeah, we'll give up a shot here and there, and our goaltenders can handle that, but we don't want to give up rebound chances. And then when the puck goes to the corner, we want to be able to retrieve that and recover it and start a breakout before they get it and kick it back out up high. And, we're playing defense again. So I think we're doing a decent job through the neutral zone, making teams dump the puck in, or, instead of carrying the puck into the zone. Um, so I think that's probably where we're right now playing pretty well, which allows us to break the puck out of the zone better. When we're structured through the neutral zone, it gives us a much better chance to break the puck out clean.
All right. And offensively, a little bit of the juggling of three lines this weekend versus the Ohio State weekend. What did you like from the line combinations, and kind of what is like how do you assess week to week who you combine together?
Yeah, we're still trying to figure that out. And I think part of the reason where we haven't had uh, consistently multiple shot shifts is because we're still trying to figure out a rhythm with our lines. We've liked a couple, but uh, it's always a process. We're probably going to continue to tinker until we find a combination that we feel where we're rolling four lines, and that's how I want to play. I want to be able to roll four lines out. When at the end of the night, when I'm looking at time on ice, 5-on-5, ideally for me, everybody's playing the same amount, 5-on-5, or it's within a couple minutes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Adam.
Thanks. All right. So this is a game against Harvard that typically we've seen, be over winter break as a geographical convenience to kind of get both teams back into the swing of things. So how did it wind up on, October 31st this year?
Well, that was the only time we could find
Okay.
for both of us to play. Um, yeah, ideally, I would have loved to have played them over the break at some point when we have a much, longer break, or whether it be over Thanksgiving weekend, but it just didn't work out this year. They had other obligations, and this is the only place we could squeeze it in.
In terms of what you're saying with finding those line combinations, how do you, is it analytics? Is it watching video? Is it asking the players? How do you sort through that at this stage of the year?
I think sometimes it's just a feel, and sometimes it might just be, we like these two guys together, and we're going to put someone else with them, rotate one person through. It's kind of a feel. It's kind of watching in practice, seeing how they perform in games. Uh, I wouldn't say, analytics to an extent, but not necessarily. It's what you're looking at is when that line's together, are they creating more chances than they're giving up? And
Yeah.
when you find those combinations, then you usually stay with them. But there's no exact science to it. It's just having a feel, and I said watching through practice.
I know we talked about him a little bit on the coaching show, but here we are 6 games into the season, and Mike Mertag just continues to, not just produce in general way, he's producing points. So, what's the biggest jump for him this year?
I think he's getting consistent playing time, and he's earned it. He plays really hard. It's probably him being very comfortable in the surroundings this year. Nothing, it's not new to him. And he's not necessarily, well, everybody's always competing and fighting for a job on the team, but I think
Hmm.
he's earned ice time and consistent ice time. So the fact that he's going over the boards on a regular basis has probably uh, helped raise his confidence.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
Go ahead, Daniel.
In a similar vein to what Joe asked earlier, are there any players that have surprised you in any way throughout these first 3 weeks?
Um, I don't know if surprised is the right word, because I had high expectations for a lot of our players that were coming back. Uh, we've continued to get very consistent play out of Tabor Heaslip. He's he's wearing a letter for a reason, and when I talk about at times we've been inconsistent, I can't say that about him. He he's been one of those guys, and I think, you've heard many coaches say it. I know Belichick used to say it all the time. Your favorite players are the ones that you know what you're going to get from them night in and night out. And he's one of those guys. So, I've been very, very pleased with him. And overall, I think our defensive core has given us a lot of quality minutes. I think the combination of Viking and Kai has been very good for us. They seem to have been playing very well together. I think Tomasinho is playing very well. All of them honestly have given us a lot of quality minutes.
Speaking of Tabor, he's always played with his hair on fire, but even in juniors, he didn't have the highest point totals. But last year, he was up there on your rankings for points. This year, he's got 4 in 6 games. Just how has he improved in that regard?
Yeah, he's around the puck and he's getting scoring chances, and he's a guy that I've played with a lot of different line mates only because I know if I feel like someone needs to get going, I'll play him with Tabor because Tabor drags you into the fight. And if you're not ready to compete with him, then you're going to have a hard time playing on our team.
Then just an aside from looking at the stats, but no 5 goals for Joey, no assists. Is that something that'll balance itself out, or do you want to see him maybe trying to create more opportunities?
Yeah, he's a candidate for the Cy Young right now, right? He's I just think that's as the season goes on, he's going to have assists. Just because whether it's shooting the puck and rebound goals, uh, he's made some really good plays that guys haven't finished. So they will come. I'm not worried about it.
Go ahead, Joe.
You're pulling a Jerry on me, Joe.
At least I didn't go Jerry Maguire. Jesus. To piggyback off Danny's question on Joey, when you were recruiting him, did you see him as being this big of a goal scorer, or is this kind of a little bit by surprise?
Well, at Nichols, yeah, Nichols, when we recruited him and when he got drafted out of Nichols. I think he had 45 or 50 goals. So, yes, when we recruited him, I was expecting a point producer and goal scorer. Then he went out to the USHL, which is a very, very hard league. Um, and he was asked to kind of play a different role. And in some ways, I think it helped his overall game because when he came here, he started out more on a fourth line and as a penalty killer. And I think that's what's developed his 200-foot game. But the goal scoring ability has always been there.
And then Jake Percival's been kind of snake bit as far as scoring is concerned, but it seems like his 200-foot game keeps getting better and better. What is it about his ability that just allows him to play so well at both ends of the ice?
Well, he skates very well and he's got an elite stick. Like he's one of the few guys that can really bait you with his stick and make you believe that a passing lane is there and he takes it away very quickly. So that's what makes him an elite penalty killer too. He just his stick breaks up a lot of plays and creates a lot of turnovers.
Anything else for Coach, guys?
I'll jump in with a couple if that's okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Taylor.
Thank you. Coach, I wonder just about the chemistry off the ice, what you've seen kind of from your vantage point that you wouldn't necessarily see if you were just watching a game, and if you could describe that for us.
I think it's pretty good. A lot of these guys have been together for a while. This senior class is a pretty large senior class as far as in today's world. You don't get many guys that will stay. I think, what will we have? I mean, essentially last year we had 4 grad students. We really didn't have a true senior. And this year we have probably 6 or 7, I think, true seniors. And that certainly helps with your team chemistry because uh, they're, very familiar with what my expectations are and how the team should be conducting themselves away from the rink. And I think they do a great job of setting that tone and an example.
Awesome. Thank you. And then just one follow up on Joey. Obviously made a huge jump from freshman to sophomore year. Is there an expectation of what you can see from his growth already, or what you maybe expect to see from him this season? Anything that you can share there?
Yeah, a lot. I've been asked that question quite a bit. I just want him to keep improving as a hockey player. I'm not focused on the number of goals he scores. I'm more focused on, again, the one stat that we really put a lot of credence into is when you're on the ice, are you creating more chances for us than giving up? And uh, Joey seems to continue to improve in that area. Not to mention, he plays a lot of minutes for us because he's a penalty killer. He's a power play guy. He's a 4-on-4 guy. If we go to overtime, he's going to be put on the ice in overtime. So he plays in every single situation. And, if he keeps, as I said, creating more chances than he's given up, and that stat improves year by year, then he continues to develop on the path that we'd like to see him go, like to see him on.